the Hidizs S8 Pro Robin. Overall build, it's pretty nice. You got a metal outside here with glass tops. Feels pretty solid. Really nice, actually. Not too heavy. I like that because it's hanging out of my pocket, by the USB. USB-C, 4.4 and 3.5. The 3.5 is 80 milliwatts at 32 ohms. The 4.4 is 160 milliwatts at 32 ohms. Pretty solid. This drives most of my things, if not all of them. 3 buttons here. This is play pause. These are for volume, as well as when you hit these at the same time, that changes the DAC filter. This logo, it lights up and it changes colors to let you know what's happening, lets you know what DAC filter you're listening to, stuff like that. Yeah, pretty decent build. Awesome accessory package. So this came with a USB adapter and a lightning adapter. So everything I need to basically play this on every device I own. And that's awesome. It works straight out of the box. Worked great with my iPhone 11 Pro. Worked great with my Androids. Worked great with my laptop. I had no complaints about how this worked. Yeah, let's talk about the DAC filters. So, when I first started listening to this thing, I was just noticing like, this sounds good. Like this sounds different from my Apple dongle, and there's something happening here. So I'm like, okay, what's happening? I went onto the website. I read that, oh, this has DAC filters, because I don't do my research when I first listen. I like to listen completely like ignorant of everything about the product, and then I like to do my research. So I was listening, and then I was like, DAC filters. Let's play with those. And I started cycling through them, and there was an audible change, like a significant audible change in some filters, and not as much of an audible change in others, but like it was an audible change. So I was like, DACs matter? I guess. Like that was my experience here. This is a very cool product, because this is the first product I've owned that has multiple DAC filters. This is the first time I've been able to like play with this stuff. And I found it very interesting because, yes, I noticed an audible difference between each filter. And it kind of excited me, because to me, it felt like there was like this uncharted part of the hobby that I haven't explored yet. Like I haven't really dug deep into DACs or anything like that. And to just discover there's more than I knew, or more that I was already aware of, was pretty cool. So I was flipping through the filters. I'm like, this is awesome. I got to measure it. So I measured this thing. I measured it with an IEM and just kept the IEM in the same place and just flipped through the filters and measured. And I measured it just looping it back into the computer. So this out into the mic in of the computer. I'll pop up both those measurements on the screen. I'll do the IEM one on the left, and I'll do the just looping it back in one on the right. I'll just kind of flip through them, pause to read any of them, because once I kind of pass this point, I'm not going to be putting measurements back up onto the screen. So pause to read if you want to read those measurements. Let's talk about the sound. So I think the default one was red, and it's the first one that kind of got me thinking, this sounds good. This sounds really good. Like I found it kind of had this natural sense to it. Like things were just kind of happening naturally, and the bass just felt like tight and good. And like it's hard to explain, because it's not really changing the frequency response. The red one says it's just a high pass filter, which I found very weird, because to me it just felt like it made the bass better. So I guess it's like after 20 hertz, it's kind of cutting the bass off a little bit, but it just sounded better to me. Like it sounded good. So I really like the red filter. The red filter is probably my favorite one to kind of just chill on. Then it goes to the green filter. The green filter, it just kind of sounded flat and boring. I'm not 100% sure why. But yeah, it just sounded very flat and boring. Like there was some life sucked out of the music. But yeah, I don't know. That might be for some people. It definitely wasn't for me. And then the blue filter, That one was weird. That one was out to lunch. Like that one, it changed the frequency response. It's interesting because like when I looped it back into itself, there wasn't a ton of change, but when I used an IEM, there was a significant amount of change in the upper mids and treble, where it just kind of takes it down. Very good on some IEMs. Like that was awesome with some IEMs. There's like, you know, those IEMs that you're like, man, this has way too much treble. This thing solves that with the blue filter. It just takes it down a notch. Very fun. Not good for everything though. Like I did not like the blue filter with my Meteor because the Meteor doesn't have a lot of upper mids to kind of take away, you know? But I kind of dug it with the Dusk. I found that pretty enjoyable actually. So it really depended on the IEM with that blue filter because it did impact the frequency response. It sounded like it was doing maybe some other stuff as well, but like it's so hard to say because the frequency response was so heavily impacted that I don't actually know if the other changes were frequency response related or something else with the filter. So yeah, the blue filter, very weird, very interesting. The orange filter, I kind of hated the orange filter actually. It's hard to explain, but it just came across as harsh and like the timing was kind of weird. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it. I couldn't point at the measurements and tell you why. It just sounded harsh and weird to me, and I did not enjoy it. And I found I would try randomly flipping through the filters just to be like, oh, can I guess it? 10 out of 10 times, I would always guess the blue one right. The orange one, I also guessed right a lot of times because it came off as a little bit harsh. Then you got like the purple-ish filter. It's like a dark pink or a purple. That one, I actually didn't mind. It sounded like it was just a little bit more relaxed than the orange one, which I appreciate, but it was kind of pushing it a little bit. Like I didn't hate it though. Overall, I found the purple one, it was probably my third favorite. And then you get the pink one, and the pink one was my second favorite, I think. It was like red, pink, and then dark pink purple. I like those three. The blue, sometimes, depending on the IM. Didn't like the orange, didn't like the green. But the pink one, pretty good. Like, it sounded pretty all right, all around. It sounded a little more, I don't know. I don't know how to explain what I'm hearing with this, but it sounded a little bit more, I want to say full. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. But there was a contrast between this and the red filter, and they were side by side, and it was easy to go back and forth between those two to kind of test. And this sounded a little bit more like there was something happening in the treble, and the red filter sounded a little more natural. Like the red, I don't know. It's really hard to explain. But I found myself really enjoying the red filter, the pink filter, and the dark pink purple filter. I'm sure that someone who knows more about DACs and amps could probably tell you why I preferred one over the other, and maybe they could point at the measurements and explain it a little better. But all I can tell you is, in my personal listening, I found that I like the red one the best, the pink one the second best, and the purple one the third best. Blue one, probably fourth best. Green one, fifth. Orange, last, sixth place. So, I think this is a really cool product. I've never had a product that I could change DAC filters. I found this to be a very fun experiment. It definitely taught me that, maybe source gear does kind of matter, which is just, like, it doesn't matter as much as my transducer still. No, like, well, maybe with that blue filter, but it definitely does matter. It definitely does matter. And if you're chasing a certain thing, like if you want a specific sound, this is a cool product because, yeah, I can mix and match my IEMs, and I can see what pairs well with other, like which DAC filter, and just play with it. And yeah, I had a good time. I will 100% be keeping this product. It will be one that I compare other things to in the future, because I really enjoy those DAC filters, being able to flip through them and just hear that difference. Yeah, this is staying in my collection. It's the only thing I have that does that, and I really enjoy it over any of my other dongles here, which is not many, to be completely honest. Yeah, cool product. Very cool product. There's going to be a lot I don't know about it, to be completely honest. I would say go to Hidizs website and look for yourself at the specs and all that stuff, because I brushed over a lot here. This is pretty feature packed with a bunch of random stuff and all that. So yeah, go to their website to look for more. I just wanted to kind of give my thoughts and impressions on this thing. Well, the reason why this, like, it just excited me. Like, this product actually excited me because I don't have something that does it, like the DAC thing, and I had a good time with it. So yeah, I'm just rambling. If you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time,